Hello, future toppers. Let's make maths simple, intuitive, and fun together. So, we got hold some new problem which says there are 5 students S1, S2, S3, S4, and S5 in a music class, and for them there are 5 seats R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5 arranged in a row. Where initially the seat Ri is allotted to the student Si, means student S1 will sit on seat R1, student S2 seat R2, and so on. But on the day of examination, 5 students are randomly allotted 5 seats. Okay, now these are the informations. Now based on this idea we have to solve this question. The probability that on the day of examination the student 1 gets previously seat allotted R1 means S1 will sit on seat R1 and none of the remaining students will sit on the previously allotted seat. So look at how we will handle this situation. So the required probability would be, first I will arrange all of them. Okay, so there are 5 students and 5 students can be arranged in 5 factorial ways. Now the condition is the student S1 is going to sit on R1 seat. Okay, so there is only one choice for student S1. Now on remaining 4 students are not allowed to sit on their previous allotted seat. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to dearrange them. So we have to apply concept of dearrangement for the remaining 4 students. Okay, I hope the idea is clear. Now let's jump on to the next illustration. So till this part, if you'll observe, everything is same. There are 5 students S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 in a music class. For them there are 5 seats R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 arranged in a row, where initially the seat R1 is allotted to the student S. Ri is allotted to the student Si. I stands for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But on the day of examination, the 5 students are randomly allotted the 5 seats. Okay, for this. Now let Ti denotes the event that the student Si and Si plus 1 do not sit adjacent to each other. Then what does this means? Means S1 is not going to sit with S2. S2 is not going to sit with S4. And S3 with S4, S4 with S5 on the day of examination. Then we have to find out the probability of this. Okay, now look at this. So according to me, required probability would be, look at here. First I will arrange 5 students. So arranging 5 students is 5 factorial ways. Now I will count all the cases where student 1 is not sitting with student 2, and like we will proceed with the all cases. Now suppose that on seat 1 is sitting. Okay, now with 1 you know that 2 cannot sit. So what I will do, I will allow 3 to sit and 4 to sit, 5 to sit. So we have 1 3 1 4 1 5. Okay, so till this part I hope you guys are okay. Now look at this. With 3 you know that you cannot allow 2 to sit, and with 3 you cannot allow 4 to sit. Okay, so who will be sitting beside 3? It is 5. Okay, now with 5 you know that there are 2% left, that is uh, 2 and 4. Okay, but you know that with 5 4 cannot sit, so there is only one choice, that 2 will sit here and then 4. So this is the first case. Now with 4 you know that 3 cannot sit and 5 cannot sit, 3 also cannot sit. Okay, so 2 is allowed, so 2. Okay, Now with 2 you know that 3 cannot sit, and you are left with 5, so only one choice, 5 and then 3. So this is also valid case. Okay, now look at this. With 5 I know that I cannot allow 4 to sit. So if 4 is not allowed, then this means 2 and 3 is allowed. Okay, so I will drop down all the cases. Now with 2 you know that 3 cannot sit. Okay, so what I will do, I will allow 4 to sit, but with 4 you have only one person left, that is 3, which is not allowed, so this case will be rejected. Okay, now with 3 you know that 4 cannot sit. So if 4 cannot sit, what I will, 4 and 2 cannot sit. Okay, and only these two seats, these two persons are left, and both has to be rejected, so we have to reject this case. Okay, I hope with 1 you guys are comfortable. Now I will allow 2 to sit on the seat number 1. Now with 2 I know that I cannot allow 1 and 3. So who will sit? So it is 4 and 5. So in case 1 I'll allow 4 to sit, and in case 2 I will allow 5 to sit. Okay, now with 4 you know that we cannot allow 5 and 3 to sit. So who is left? 1. Okay, with 1 you know that 2 is not allowed, so 2 is already, we don't have choice because 2 is in position number 1. So we have 3 and 5, and both are allowed, so 3 5 1 4 2, and then here 5, here 3, so it is okay. Now 2 5, with 5 I cannot allow 4 to sit, so we are left with 1 and 3. So suppose I allow 1 to sit here and 3 to sit here. Okay, so we will consider both the cases. Now if, now we have 4 and 3, so with 1 I can allow 4 and 3. Acha, wait. So if you'll observe, if you'll allow 4 to sit here, by default 3 will sit here. And if you'll allow 3 to sit here, by default 4 will sit here. And you know that 3 and 4 is not allowed to sit together. Okay, so this case has to be rejected. Okay, now with 3 you know that you cannot allow 4 to sit, so you have to allow 1. Okay, and with, now you are left with 4, so this is valid case. Now I hope 2 is done. After 2 I will observe 3. So with 3 I cannot allow 2 and 4, but 1 and 5 is okay now. 1 and 5 is okay. Now with 1 I cannot allow 2 to sit. So 2 will not sit, 3 is already being occupied. We are left with 4, 5. Okay, so we will handle each cases. Now look at this. With 4 I cannot allow 3, so 3 is already engaged. With 4 I cannot allow 5, 5 we have as a choice, and 2. So who will sit with 4? 2, and then 5. So it's a valid case. Okay, now here we have 5. Now with 5 we are left with 2, and you know that 4 cannot be allowed. So what I will do, first I will allow 2 to sit, and then later 4. Okay, this is valid. Now just focus on 3 and 5. You know that you cannot allow 4 to sit. So if 4 is not allowed, 1 and 2 will be allowed now. Now handle individual cases. So we are left with 2 and 4. So you know that with 1 you cannot allow 2. So you will allow 4 to sit, and then we have 2. Now in this case we have 1 and 4. So you know that with 2 1 is not allowed. So 4 will sit, and then 1 will sit. So this is the case for 3, in the leading position. Now we will put 4 to be on the leading stage. So 4. Now with 4, 5 and 3 is not allowed. So 1, 2 will be allowed. Okay. Now with 1 you cannot allow 2. So what I will do? I will allow 3. I will allow 5. Okay. Now look at this. With 3, now we have under this case, now we have 2 and 5. So I will first allow 5 to sit and then 2. Okay. Yes. Now look at this. Here we have 2 and 3. In this case we have 2 and 3, and by default they will sit together. So this case has to be rejected. Okay. Now focus on 4 and 2. So with 4 and 2 you know that you cannot allow 3 and 1. So 3 and 1 is not allowed. So who will sit? 5 will sit. No other choice is left. Okay. Now now you are left with 1 and 3, and both are allowed. So 1 is allowed, 3 is allowed. Okay. And then with now you have 3 and 1. So it's okay. So this is valid case. Okay. Now we will allow 5 to lead the game. Okay. So suppose 5 is sitting. So with 5 you cannot allow 4. So who will sit? 1, 2, 3. So 5, 5. Okay. Now with 1 you cannot allow 2. So if it is not 2, it would be 3, it would be 4. Okay. Now with 3 you cannot allow 4 and 2, and both are the left person, and this means for case 1 we don't have any choice. Okay. Now focus on this part. So we have 5, 1, 4, and then the person left is 2 and 3. Okay. So by default this case will also be rejected because 2 and 3 has to sit together. Okay. Then with 2 you cannot allow 1 and 3 to sit. Okay. So who will sit? 4 will sit. Okay. Only one choice. And then with 4 you cannot allow 3 to sit, and we are left with only one choice, that is 1 and then 3. So this is valid case. Then we have 5 and 3. You know that you cannot allow 2 and 4. So you have one choice, that is you have to put 1 over here, and then we have 4 and 2. So you know that with 1 you cannot put 2, so you have to put 4 and then 2. So this is the valid case. So now we have to count. So 2, 3, 5, 5, 4, 9, 9 and 10, and then 14. So total number of required cases are 14. Therefore the required probability is 14 by 5 factorial. I hope the idea is clear and you guys can handle similar situations. So see you guys in next session of MathFlix.